And you'll have to tell the lady that you're okay with recording. Continue. Right, so we are going to start standing at the front of your mat. And I say the front, I don't really mean the front of the mat because otherwise I've got nowhere to put the hands. So I normally have about, let's say 40 centimeters between the front of the mat and my feet. Now I want you to lift up all of your feet, all of your feet, all of your toes. Lifting up all your feet would mean that we're levitating. And I know that yoga is transcending, but I don't think it's quite that good. And then bring your big toes together and feel those toes press into each other and then press them down into your mat. Then spread your little toes as wide as you possibly can and press them into the mat. And then lay every single toe down and try and get space, or as much space as you can, in between every single toe. Hands come down either side of your body. Fingers are strong. Shoulders are drawing away from your ears. Crown of the head is coming up towards the ceiling. Closing your eyes, and we're going to take 5 breaths here. Let's inhale, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale, 2, 3, 4. We really do want to be grounded here. And part of that grounding is breathing. And I don't mind if you breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. Or if you breathe in through your mouth and out through your mouth. Or in through your nose and out through your nose. But you should feel the whole of your chest rise. It expands sideways. The belly pulls out away from the spine. And then the belly pulls in towards the spine as you breathe out again. Gently opening your eyes. And then on your next inhale, breathe in deeply and gather your belly button towards your spine, giving it a little squeeze. And then as you exhale, relax your belly button away from your spine. Again, as you inhale, draw your belly button in towards your spine. And then exhale, let your belly button relax. Last one, take a nice deep inhale, belly button towards your spine. And then belly button relaxes out again. And you can use this gathering towards your spine all the way through your practice, especially in any balances. That is my top tip for the day. So from here, inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, overhead, nice big stretch. Should feel really delicious. Keep stretching up as high as you possibly can. And then exhale, step back with your right foot, hands come down to your hips. Right heel draws backwards, we're in a high lunge position. Really are trying to get a nice stretch onto the heel of your right foot. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, overhead, nice big stretch again. Try and go as far back with your arms as you can, opening out the front of the ribs. So thinking draw down with the ribs, draw up with the arms. And then exhale, bring your hands all the way back to your sides. Step forwards with your right foot. Step backwards with your left foot. Draw your heel all the way back down towards the ground. Inhale, sweep your arms all the way up, overhead, nice big stretch. Open out the front of the neck as well. Open out your belly. Open out your rib cage, and then exhale, bring your hands all the way back to your hips again. From here, right foot steps backwards, and you're going to rotate the heel down and inwards. Inhale, sweep your arms into warrior two. Tuck your tailbone under, lift through the crown of your head, and breathe. You've got 5 breaths in warrior two. This is a very strong pose for your hips, for your core, for your legs. Here, inhaling, sweeping your arms all the way forward. Left foot draws backwards, heel drops in. Right knee is forwards. Inhaling, lifting your arms all the way up into warrior two, tucking your tailbone under. Crown of the head comes towards the ceiling. And try and feel if you're drifting forwards or backwards here. I always have a tendency to draw forwards a little bit. So I'm trying to make sure that my weight is even on my feet. I'm not clenching my toes, just unclench my right foot. I'm balanced in the middle of my body. Inhaling, stepping all the way forwards with your left foot. Right foot steps backwards and turns in. Inhaling, sweeping your left arm all the way up overhead. Right hand comes down, and the palm of your left hand is pointing down towards the ground. You may not be able to see my palm, but I promise you it is facing down. 5 breaths in reverse warrior. We're trying to stretch out now the front of the left side of the body. Inhaling, sweeping your arm all the way back down again, stepping forwards with your right foot, stepping back with your left foot. Again, we're going to sweep with the right arm all the way up, overhead, hand faces down, and your left hand is on your left leg. So it might be on your thigh, it might be on your lower leg. Really are trying to let go with the front hip, or let go with the side of the body. Lift into the ceiling. Palm of your right hand is pointing down. Inhaling, right hand comes back down to your right hip. Left foot steps forward. So from here, grab your cushion, pop it behind you, because we are going to kneel down. So right foot, grab your cushion. Right foot steps backwards. Ooh, someone's not muted. Mr. Damien, I think it's you. Just going to do it. Yeah, thank you very much. Okay, so kneeling down, okay? So from here, I want you to press into your big toe at the back, okay? So a big toe, and then draw the heel backwards and lift. So I'm not actually doing anything other than lifting up with my hip. You should get a beautiful stretch over the front of your hip. Okay, should get a really, really nice stretch. Keep drawing backwards with the heel. Oh, feels really good right into the front of my hip here. And then resting all the way back down and lifting your foot up, pointing your foot towards the ceiling. Anyone? Mine's about to get cramp. I'm just on the verge of getting cramp. Oh, it's faded. Right, very nice. Yeah. Yeah, I think a couple of people feeling that. Okay, so we're going to do exactly the same again. You can lift up, squeeze your bum, get that stretch into the front of the hip. Okay, if you're not feeling it in the front of the hip, try and go a little bit deeper. Okay, keep that back leg. See how straight that back leg is. I know I'm not talking to that camera, but the camera I am talking to is here. Bring your knee all the way back down again. Lift up, point the toe. These are opposites, okay? These are opposites. We're getting into a little bit of extension using the hamstrings. And tuck your toe. Got one more, lifting it up. Should feel the front leg burning now. I hope your legs are burning. Mine are. Okay. Few people need to lift with the inside of the ankle. And then come back down again. Lift with the back foot. And tuck your toes, step forwards and step backwards with your other leg. It's been a while since I focused on legs, so I thought we'd focus a little bit on legs this morning. Okay, so tuck your big toe under, really get that nice stability. If you're like me and you've got an index toe, your index toe is longer than your big toe, you may need to adjust, okay? So from here, you're gonna press up, lift through your hips, try and get that nice stretch onto the front of your left hip now. Really grounding through your feet. Knee comes back down onto the ground, and then you're pointing your toe up. And keep breathing. If you're finding balance a little bit tricky, bring your knee and your leg slightly wider from each other, okay? Normally it's because everything's a little bit narrow and it's going to fall over. Here, untuck your toes, lift all the way up into a high lunge. And have a bit of a feel. You can probably see my body wants to come forwards. I'm really having to be very strong and lifting up, and I'm trying to control my spine by using my core. Okay, you can see that there's a little bit of a lean forward. From here, coming all the way back down again, and then lifting your back foot. Oh my God, my body just wants to fall asleep right now. How many minutes in? About 10. 14, there you go. Lifting your back leg up and then drawing your heel backwards. Knee comes all the way back down. This is the last one. Draw your foot all the way up, really squeeze with your hamstring. I'm really thinking lift as much as I possibly can with the hamstring. And then we're going to come back up again and relax your legs out. Give them a little bit of a shake, a little bit of a wobble. Should feel quite pleasant. The cushion can go out the way. Okie dokie, folks, we're going to vinyasa. Okay, let's get a little bit of heat through the body in case you weren't warm enough as it is. Inhaling, lifting your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, hinging with your hips coming all the way down towards the ground. Should feel like your hamstrings at this point in time have loosened a little bit, hopefully. Sucking your head in. Inhale, nice straight back, tall spine. Exhale, hands come down onto the mat, step back with your right foot and then to your left foot. If you've got any wrist or knee injury or arm injuries, bring your knees down. From here, chest comes all the way down towards the ground. Untuck your toes. Inhale, lift up into cobra. And I want you to really feel like your feet are pressing into the mat. Okay, really press top of the foot into the mat. From here, exhale, going into child's pose. Get a lovely long stretch underneath your armpits. So obviously, child's pose is always a good pose to go into. And it gives me a sign for how you're feeling this morning. From here, pressing it into your hands, untucking your toes, lifting your hips up, and coming into the first downward facing dog of the day. Drawing your hips up towards the ceiling and pressing your shoulders all the way into your ears, making nice and broad of your spine, so thinking out to either side. Have a look at your arches here as well. Have a play. Can you lift up with the inside of the ankle? Okay. Can you relax the inside of the ankle and let the heels come downwards? On your next inhale, looking towards the front of the mat, stepping forwards with your right foot, and then with your left foot. Exhale, folds. Inhale, bending your knees, coming into chair pose. Sitting the hips backwards. Oh, I've made a mistake. I'm a bit deep. Don't go too deep for this one because we're going to get even deeper. Exhale, coming a little bit deeper. Told you I made a mistake. That was a really big mistake for me. We're going to hold this for 5 breaths. Really try and lengthen your toes here and press every toe down. Okay, try and drift as much as you can downwards. Really sucker those feet. Yeah, Andrew, keep fighting. The fight is real here. And exhale, coming down onto your mat with your hands. You're going to step back with one foot, just slightly. So my left foot, I'm stepping back, bending the left knee. And then from here, I'm going to rock my hips backwards and try and keep my spine nice and straight. Okay, it's a lovely little hamstring stretch. I do have a semi-bend in my right leg. My left leg you can't really see, okay, but there is a little bend. Maybe if I do it this way, no, that's even worse. Maybe if I do it this way, you'll see what's going on with my other leg. So from here, got a bend in my left leg. My other leg is fairly straight, 99% straight, and I'm just hinging backwards, getting a lovely stretch into my hamstring, and then I'm going to creep forwards, lift up, straighten my spine, and then exhale, push backwards a little bit further maybe. And then inhale, come all the way forwards, relax your legs out, and then exhale, send your hips backwards. And I should say my feet are about hip distance apart. On your next inhale, coming all the way forwards, I'm just going to turn around. And you're going to step back with your right leg, left foot is now forwards. Okay. We're going to do exactly the same thing as we did on the other side, which is we're going to hinge backwards. Try and keep sticking your bum up. Okay, so bum's in the air, hands are on your mat or on bricks. And when you're ready, inhale, release the legs, and then exhale, drawing the hips backwards. And my core is working. I really am pulling inwards with my stomach muscles.
And then relaxing, coming forwards. Last one, hinging backwards. Inhale, coming forwards, giving your legs a little bit of a shake. Okay, so from here, hands come onto your mat. You're going to take your index fingers around your big toes. From here, bend your knees to begin with, and then exhale, fold all the way down. Still with a bent leg. And then when you're ready, you can then lift your hips up towards the ceiling. Be very gentle, especially if you've got a hamstring injury and you know that this is something that's going to put more pressure on it. You want to be very, very gentle, work within the bounds of your body. Inhale, tall spine, lift up a little bit. Hands come underneath your feet. Okay, so bend your knees to get your hands underneath your feet. You may have to bend your knees a lot. Okay, and then from here, you're going to try and straighten your legs as much as you can. Drop your head down so it points towards the ground. It's almost like we're creating one loop. And this is stretching all the muscles in the posterior chain of the body. And there are things called deep fascia lines. And there is a deep fascia line that runs from the underside of your foot all the way around the back of the body, all the way up to your skull. And this is stretching the whole of that deep fascia line. Then inhaling, releasing your hands. Walk your hands all the way back up your legs. Let's relax the legs out a little bit, give them a little bit of a shake. And we are going to go back in. So I'm just giving you a bit of a rest, bit of a respite. I did tell you it's about legs this morning. You're going to inhale, lift your arms all the way up overhead. Nice big stretch, nice and tall. Feel that lengthening of your body. So from here, I want you to have a feel for your core, your bum, your thighs. Tighten them up nice and slowly. Tighten everything very gently and slowly, and lift, lift, lift. Keep lifting up, and then exhale. Relax everything out. Hands come down onto your mat. So put a little bit of pressure into your hands, only a little bit, not too much. This is to stabilize you. You're going to take one foot up and try and point that foot all the way up towards the ceiling in a standing split. The hands are there to help support. You may find you need to take your hands a little bit wider if you're struggling with balance in one of your legs. This is why we worked on your hip flexors and your hamstrings to begin with. Let the hip open out, keep squeezing your bum. And then exhale, release your right leg. Hands stay where they are. Nice and wide, creating the platform. And then from here, you're going to squeeze your core, stabilize your trunk, and then lift your left leg up. Keep pressing into your hands. Keep lifting and squeezing with your left glute. And then exhaling, bringing that left leg all the way back down onto the mat. Inhale, tall spine. Exhale, hands come onto your mat, stepping or jumping into a chaturanga, whatever you would like to do. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Please respect your body. Should feel a delicious stretch onto your abdomen here. Exhale, hips come back into a downward facing dog. So in downward facing dog, we're going to open out the hips again. Right foot comes all the way up overhead. Open out your right hip. Squeeze your right glute as much as you possibly can. Lift with your foot into the air. And then from here, inhaling, coming into pigeon. Right, so my leg isn't parallel with the front of the mat. I can't get it parallel. My hips won't allow me to get it parallel. Maybe if I do that, you can see it's slightly off parallel. Okay, but I work with what my hips have available to them. And I was talking about hard stops with a client yesterday. And after a year of me going on about hard stops, they finally said to me, what is a hard stop? I don't understand that. So if I was to put my hand flat on the mat and then try not to bend any of my joints, so don't bend your wrist, your elbow, or your shoulder, and then come forwards as much as I possibly can, I get to a point where I can't go any further without my wrist wanting to come up. And I feel that in the front of the wrist. That's what a hard stop is. And you have those all over your body, and it's where the bone won't move. Okay. Now, it doesn't feel like that in my hip in this position. It feels spongy. It feels tight. It doesn't feel like I can move it any further than I am at the moment. Okay, from here, try and lean backwards and lift up. Hands in a prayer pose. Squeeze your bum. Open out your left hip. I should say it's squeezing the right bum, not the left one. Left one won't help at all. Well, maybe it'll help a little bit. We're extending it. Yeah, maybe it'll help a little bit. Hands come back down onto your mat. Untuck your toes off your left foot. Step back with your right foot, push into downward facing dog. When you are ready and stable and your hands are in a good position, you are going to lift with your left leg and point your left foot all the way up towards the ceiling, opening out your left hip. From here, bending your left knee, bringing your left leg all the way forwards and underneath you into pigeon. And the first one is a supported pigeon pose. And then we go into an unsupported. Trying to draw your shoulders away from your ears. I am on my fingertips, they are bracing. If that's too much for your fingers or your hands, you can bring your palms down. You can also bring your hands forwards if you want to take a little bit of load off your wrists. And also, we've also got blocks if you need them. They can go underneath your hands. From here, squeeze your left bum cheek. Try and keep the hips as square as you can. I find this very difficult. Lift up with your upper body. Hands come into a prayer pose. Exhale, hands come back down onto your mat. Lift up with your your left leg, and that left leg is going to step forwards in a lunge. Okay, so we've got a lunge coming forwards. Then we're going to work our way so that we are coming into a triangle pose. Feet are parallel with the ends of your mat. So I think quite a few people don't like this one. If you find that it's really pulling on the inside of your thighs, okay, come all the way up, bring your feet in and put a little bend in your knees, okay? Now from here, tilt the hips forwards. It really is a bucket, okay? You're tipping water. I mean, everyone talks about a goldfish bowl, okay? It's got a hole at the top. You're going to tilt that goldfish bowl forwards. And then from here, hinge. If you can't get down onto the ground, you're going to get a couple of bricks.
and you're going to put them underneath your shoulder. Okay, it's more important to have that tilt forwards. Once we've got the tilt forwards, that can really, really help get us a little bit lower. And look at everyone's tilt forwards. Yeah, you can really try to empty the bucket forwards. It's like you're trying to stick your bum all the way up into the air. I'm just going to show you from the side what that tilt forwards looks like. Okay, so this is me without the tilt. Have a look at my waistband. That's the best thing to do. And then I'm tilting. It's like I'm really going to pour everything out the front. My lower back comes into an extension position. And then from here, I'm then coming down. And that tilt has allowed me to come a little bit further. Just having a look what it looks like. Very nice. Okay, right. So in this position, I then want to do a little bit of a rotation. So if you are on bricks or blocks, you may need to move the brick over to one side of your body to then rotate your body to the side. If you're not on a brick, you can place your hand on your foot and then rotate. My right arm is up towards the ceiling, my left hand is on my right foot. From here, take your hands back down to your mat or onto your brick. Switch your brick onto the other side. Okay, so if you need a brick, pop the brick by your foot, place your hand flat on the brick, and then rotate. And there are times where less is more. Sometimes it's nice to have a brick, nice to have a bit of support, nice to do something slightly different. Hands come around your left foot. Rotate both feet so that they are forwards and bend your knees, bringing your right knee down onto the ground. Left foot is forwards. From here, we're then going to creep the hands backwards. And if you're like me and you haven't quite got your feet in the right position, you're going to try and keep your feet and knee hip distance apart. And I've relaxed the foot out. And I think I've gone on about this enough times now to know that if you point the toe up, that's a nerve response, that's stretching the nerves out, which is completely fine if they allow it. If you relax the foot, that is a muscular response. From here, coming forwards onto your front foot, rotating the foot so that they then go to the side of the mat and parallel, and then you're going to rotate all the way towards the back of your mat. So you'll be facing backwards. We're doing exactly the same thing. So feet and knee are hip distance apart. You're then going to slide backwards with your hips and try and get a straightish leg, thinking 99% straight with your right leg. And then from here, you can then try and get a little bit deeper into the stretch. You feel this on the back of your right leg. And I have curled my toes under, my big toes down. I'm getting a beautiful stretch into my fingers. No, my feet. Definitely not my fingers. Coming all the way back up, we're going to rotate so that we are facing the front of the mat again. Both feet face forwards, bending your right knee, and then bring your left knee so that it is equal and you're sitting it back down onto your heels. And now I know a lot of people don't like this, so if you want to place a couple of cushions underneath you so that you can support yourself. You move slightly further forwards just because I'm not in the middle of my mat. From here, hands come behind you and press into the palms. My fingers are facing towards my feet. My chest is lifting upwards. My chin is raising towards the ceiling. And the sun is just rising, okay, out the top of the window. I'm just getting that glancing my face. It's quite pleasant. Really try and straighten your arms out. You'll get a stretch onto your biceps at this point in time. Press every single finger into the mat. If this is too much for your lower back, please put a little bit of a bend in your spine. From here, you can curl your chin in and come back up to seated. Now, we are going to go a little bit further backwards. To begin with, I'm going to do hands into a prayer pose, and we're going to do a suspended lean back. So I'm going to lean back a little bit and then bring my arms overhead. And there'll be a point where you're like, I'm going to fall. I want to try and get to that point, be able to seal the knees back onto the mat, but still release through your neck and your rib cage. Try and extend your arms. And then exhaling, bring your hands back in towards your chest. Here, we're going to try and come a little bit deeper, a little bit further down. So hands come behind your feet. This may be where you stay. Okay? This may be enough. If you're already feeling this as a pinch in your spine, try and work on your hip flexors and opening out the hip flexors rather than come any deeper. If you want to, you can bend your elbows and bring your arms flat or your forearms flat onto the floor. Knees are pressing downwards. And I really am having to squeeze my bum here to lift upwards with my hips. If you're happy to, you can come onto the top of your head and your arms are supporting you. You're creeping your hands down your legs. There's very little pressure going through my head here. My hips are lifting and I'm getting a full extension in my hip. Okay, I'm trying to lift with the hips and still breathe at the same time. When you are ready, tuck your chin in, bring one hand underneath you and then your other hand, and come all the way back up again. We're going to round out, tuck your chin in, curl through the whole of the spine. Place your hands either side of your head and clasp your fingers together around the top of your head. Press into your forearms to support the whole of your neck and shoulders as you come into a flexed position. From here, coming back up into seated position. Now you're going to take your right foot forward and bring the big toe down. Okay, so the right foot is forwards, big toe is down. You may find that this is enough. Okay, some people might get cramp immediately here. If you want to, you can come back onto your forearms and then lie down onto the mat. And I say lie loosely, my shoulders are pressing the mat away. My head is on the mat. I'm having to lift with my hips to make sure that I don't press into my lower back here. Tucking your chin in, pressing into your hands and your forearms, coming all the way back out again. Right foot comes underneath you, left foot Comes forwards, tuck the toes under. Again, this may be enough. Some people may find that this is quite intense. And I find it very intense on my ankles, I must admit. It is quite intense on my ankles this morning. So bring your hands behind you. If you want to go a little bit deeper, you can bend your forearms and your elbows. Come onto your forearms. If you want to make it even more intense, then you lay completely flat and you press into your arms onto the mat. Head comes down, lifting through your hips. Pressing back into your arms and coming all the way back up again. From here, we're going to go into a seated position. So take your feet out from underneath you. They've had enough of being bound. Take your legs out in front of you. So today has been quite a lot of movement on your hamstrings. I'm just going to move those out of the way. So from here, lift your toes up, point them towards the ceiling. Get your core working, okay? We need to have that tilt of the hip here, okay? So we need to be able to tilt the hips forwards. Really get grounded with your bottom bones. This is at the base of the pelvis, okay? And they allow us, you should feel a bit of a rock and a roll over the top. Have a play with this movement forwards and backwards. Okay, it should feel like there's like a bone that you're sitting on and you're rocking and rolling forwards. From here, inhaling, lifting your arms all the way up overhead. Exhale, hinge forwards, but don't put your arms down. And I'm trying to create a straight line between my hips, my shoulders, and my arms. I cannot come any further forward without putting a break in somewhere. Exhale, hands come behind you, and you're going to lift your chest through in between your shoulders. Chin comes up towards the ceiling. Press into your hands, and you almost want to feel like your hips are coming slightly off the ground here. Almost. That's how much press we're putting into your hands. And then relaxing out. Take the tension out of your body. Take the tension out of your legs, out of your feet. Okay, so we're going to try and go through this a little bit more. Inhale, sweep your arms up overhead. Point your toes up towards the ceiling. Exhale, hinge forward and try and get a little bit deeper. Try and use your core muscles. Try and use the top of your thighs. Draw them in. Try and look forwards rather than down. Okay, you really got to fight your own body here. Exhale. You can either do the previous version, or if you want to, you can point your toes, hands come behind you, and you're going to lift up with your hips, lift up with your chin. Try and get your feet flat onto the mat. Straight arms. And then exhale, bring your hips all the way back down again. Relax your hands, relax your feet. Got a little bit of cramp in my feet then. They're doing all sorts of things there. Right, so from here we've got one more. Inhaling, lifting your arms all the way up overhead. Nice tall spine. Exhale, hinge forwards, come as far forwards as you possibly can. Can you get a little bit deeper? Can you push a little bit more? Try and keep looking forwards. Try to stop the head from dropping. And exhaling. Bring your hands behind you. So you can either come into the lift of the chest. You can, if you want to, come into pressing your feet down. Or you can lift a leg as well.
If you're lifting a leg, slowly put that one down onto the ground, bend the knee, lift the other leg. Slowly bring that foot all the way down to the ground, press your feet flat into your mat, press your hands into the mat, and then exhale, relax. And relax the whole of your body down onto your mat. Got to keep checking time today. Oh, perfect timing. Okay, so from here, you're going to bring one knee in towards your chest, send the other leg away. Okay, really get a nice hug with the knee into the chest. Squeeze your left bum cheek, try and draw your left leg down into the mat. And from here, you're going to draw little circles with your right knee. Keep that left leg activated and drawing down. Just drawing little circles and let the hips move slightly. Okay, this is to do with the joints in the spine. We're moving everything around. From here, take your right leg away from you, bring your left knee in towards your chest. Start to think about drawing your right leg down into the mat. So I can feel my calf muscle pressing into the mat. I can feel my right glute activating and my right hip flexor relaxing as I do this. Really am trying to activate in two different directions here. And then when you're ready, you are going to draw circles, very small little circles with your left knee. And you're thinking about moving the hip around. Let the pelvis do what it wants to do. So it might want to rock and roll with the knee. From here, bring your left knee over to the right side of your body. Left hand goes to the left side of the body. You are rotating your body over. My right hand is on my left thigh, encouraging that spinal twist. Make this a little bit stronger, straighten your left leg out. And you can, if you want to, creep your right hand further down your left leg and reach onto either your ankle, your foot, whatever feels comfortable for you. Bending your left leg, rotating your body so that you're facing up towards the ceiling. Bring both knees up, feet are flat on the floor. Left leg extends, right leg comes across your left leg, and you're rotating in the other direction. Left hand goes to right thigh. Release the grip on your hands. If you want to make this more intense, you can extend your right leg and creep your hand
up towards the foot or the ankle. You may not get that far, you might get to the knees. So bending your right knee, lying up towards the ceiling. Bring your knees into your chest and wrapping your arms around your knees. From here, try and hug and pull your knees in all the way in towards your chest and then relax out. This is bringing your lower back into a little bit of flexion. It can be quite pleasant. Bring your knees all the way in towards your chest and then relax back out again. Knees come in towards your chest. Really tense everything out. I'm using my core to draw everything in and relax out. Last one. Draw your knees into your chest. If you want to come into a full flexion, lift your head off the ground and bring your head towards your knees. And then relax your whole body out again. Bring your feet down towards the ground. We are going to go into Shavasana. Perfect timing. We have a 5-minute Shavasana. If you want to get a covering, now is a good time to do so. If you're already in a position that makes you feel very comfortable, closing your eyes, relaxing out your body, hands facing up towards the ceiling, releasing your breath and breathing as it comes to you, not holding anywhere in your body. Slowly becoming aware of your surroundings. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhale. Stretching out your fingers. Stretching out your toes, taking space for air to fill the gaps in between each digit. Waving your fingers around, waving your toes around. Starting to roll your legs from side to side. Rolling your arms from side to side. Rocking your head from one side to the other. Working your knees up towards your chest. Wrapping your arms around your shins, or maybe tucking your hands into the back of the knees. And rocking from one side to the other. When you're ready, rolling onto your side. Pressing your hands into your mat. And coming back to a seated position. Hands come into a prayer pose. Let's do a reverse prayer downwards. Okay. Not often that we do things differently, so let's do things differently. So fingertips pointing downwards, press your palms together, press all of your fingers together. Try and draw your shoulders away from your ears, trying to lengthen your spine. And then one last pull of the belly button in towards your spine. And then exhale, bow your head, saying namaste. Thank you very much for joining me for yoga today. A little bit different, not quite as shoulder heavy, a little bit more on the legs today. So have a fantastic day, everyone. And I will see you next week, I hope. So take care of yourselves and yeah, see you soon. Just stop recording.